Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cat, so let's play that. Today, we're taking a look at Shinobi on the Astro City Mini. That's a lot of Shinobis. Alright, sounds easy enough.
Mission 1.
Now, we're playing a game in the vein of Rolling Thunder and other such games, although I feel like this is arguably my first introduction to this. I mean, not this exact gameplay time, but this game is the first introduction I had to these sort of scrolling games, although I feel like it was on the Genesis, which, well, the Genesis version was pretty good. Also, of course, Genesis Shinobi, you usually don't think this. Anyway, maybe more of an explanation of what the heck is going on here. So, you're playing as Shinobi. If you press up and jump, you can jump to the next plane of existence. And then you can go ahead and jump down. I guess in theory you have to save everybody, but that's fine. Who really... Oh. I guess that counts as both a boss fight and a clear. Not bad at all. Man, speaking of Shinobi games, one of the Shinobi games that I don't really understand, well, I've only come to understand in retrospect, but I had a Palm Pilot back in the day, and I had the Shinobi game for the Palm Pilot, and let's see, ultimately it turned out to be Shinobi for the Game Gear, that was ported to a Palm Pilot. Now, if you think, a Palm Pilot, that doesn't have a joystick or any sort of buttons, how would that work? Well, first off, this was the Palm Zyre 71, so it kind of had a joystick in the middle, and it arguably had buttons. Now, your instincts have not led you astray. It was a very suboptimal experience. Good God, this guy is worse than Pink Guy. Or Green Guy, I don't know. But it existed, and I had it, and it was strangely fun. Of course, Shining Force was the real standout on that collection, but I also played a bit of Shinobi, and I like to think that I may or may not have trained my Shinobi senses in that game. Of course, I've also since played the Shinobi 2 on the Genesis. I guess, actually, I played that on the Sega Smash Pack back in the day. I wonder if that was the version that had Spider-Man in it. Whoa. Eesh. But then also, what's it now? Oh yeah, Shinobi 3. Oh man. Shinobi 3 is one of the coolest games ever on the Genesis. I don't know that it's necessarily the best, but it is definitely the absolute coolest. I like how this guy is just kind of standing there. It's like I'm hitting him with shurikens, but it's nope, this guy's a no-cell. Okay, come on now. I'm beginning to think that I'm doing something wrong. Oh, look, his head is flashing. I wonder if that's a cue to hit him in the head instead. Alright, fine. You want some head trauma? I got some head trauma. Okay. You... Alright, Alright, well, sometimes if you say a one-liner again, then it'll work. Alright, you want some head trauma? I'll give you some head trauma. That is kind of mean that you have to deal with the fire and you have to hit him in the head. Is that really here? What if... Okay. What I was going for there was I was gonna because when you're close to enemies, you can sword them. So I was gonna see if I could sword him, but that doesn't really seem to work so great. I don't even think that did a whole power of damage. Just you watch. Yeah, you think you're all high and mighty with your giant fire dragons now. Just you wait. I'm going to figure out your height, and then you're going down, pal. You're going down. Acceptable. Acceptable. Ouch. Why is it so hard? Okay. Oh my gosh, this is really hard. I could have sworn in the Genesis version, or maybe it was a Master System version, or I don't know. But I feel like this game was easy. But then again, maybe I just always played the part where you just like blaze through the level, and then I never had to deal with this part of it. You know what? Ninjutsu! Oh yeah! The slow-mo death scene. Oh, that's good. Bonus stage. Challenge for extra players. Shoot all enemies. Remember that sushi game that came out? It was like it wasn't Sushi Fighters. It wasn't fighting Foodons, but it was like some. Oh, that ended poorly. You failed. But it was some sort of Sushi Strikers or something for the Switch or something, and like, yeah, that game was so bad. Nobody cares at all about that game. But anyway, that minigame kind of reminds me of it. Although, of course, I mean, the actual Sushi Strikers is like some sort of weird puzzle game. And of course, this is like a post-Puyo Puyo puzzle game. So like, the best puzzle game ever was already invented. So like, they have to try something new so that they can, like, you know, actually copyright their inevitable creation. Hey. Yeah, I bet those shin shots actually kill you. Oh, you start right at the very beginning. But of course they compromise by making the levels like multiple checkpoints, which I don't know how I feel about this, but I guess there's nothing to feel. This is reality now. You got to deal with it. I like how you jump over him and it's like he kind of cares, he almost doesn't. And I've got an Uzi. I like how the biggest power up in this game though is basically you abandoning your ninja ways and like getting a gun. Actually, speaking of the Shinobi 3, what? Oh, I have to save one more person. I also like how he still holds the Uzi with like a Shinobi or something. It's like, give up, man. Embrace the E-SWAT. Oh no. And it loops back around because of course, why doesn't it? But I remember, yeah, in the Shinobi game I played, they each had different powers and one of them was just gun. Oh, that's right. They basically took these guys' powers and like split it amongst 5 or so other people, and it's like, yeah, it's okay, but it's very annoying. Like, this guy, he's got a very complete like move set. But then if you go ahead and you start taking away fundamental parts, like the main red guy in that Shinobi game, like all he could do was sword, and in this game it's like you only ever sword by accident because it's just not a good move. Okay, wow. Maybe I didn't play this. Maybe I just played like Shadow Dancer, which I don't know if that's easier, but I don't remember it being anywhere near this difficult. Although, of course, maybe I just didn't even play to win. I just kind of played to play. I don't know what I expected. I guess it should have been that. Oh, cool. It's saved. Okay, so it saved the number of people I've saved. So now I just need to save one more person, and then I can go to the next level. Nice. Unfortunately, it's this guy. Okay. Can I, like, cheap him by just kind of hanging out right in front of him and then swording him? Of course, there's no guarantee that it'll give me the sword instead of, like, something relatively ineffectual, but... Hey, surprise! Oh, no. Oh my, oh my. Oh my or umai. That's Japanese for good. I know that word because Courtney says it all the freaking time. Anyway, back to the game, and... Ah, yes. I had to unlock the helicopter. I mean, what's the point of clearing the stage if you don't have the helicopter unlocked? That's pretty funny with that stupid set piece. I kind of like the implication, though. It's like, yeah, you have to unlock the set piece, otherwise it can't happen. It's like, but what if... It's like, but what if that simply didn't happen? It's like, nope, you gotta unlock the set piece. Gotta do it the right way. No half measures here. So, yeah, I guess it really does save how many people you've saved, but then you still need to save everybody, so you don't really save any time in doing any of this. Wow, this guy is just using melee attacks against me. Come on, man. I, in theory, know melee attacks. This sword isn't for show, or is it? I guess it is, considering half the time he's done melee, he's just used his foot. And it's like, if your foot is an instant kill, why even carry the swords? In fact, even better, why don't you capitalize on it? Why don't you, like, start throwing some swords on your feet? That'll show them. They'll like, see you coming, they'll be like, oh man, he doesn't even have a sword. He just has melee attacks. There's no way, or no, he just has, like, physical, or he just has martial arts attacks. There's no way this is gonna work out. And then you just give him a kick sword, and it's like, dang, I should have seen that coming, but I couldn't, because who checks out other people's footwear? All right, finally I beat that guy. And my reward for getting all the way to the right, absolutely nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing for me. Either way. All right, let's see. It's a 4. I still don't entirely trust this. Like, do you really? Okay, yeah, 4. Those are the rules, I guess. I don't make them. I barely live by them, but I guess that's what it is. It's an interesting game in that, like, you just have to, like, stop moving and just duck and attack. I mean, that's hardly, like, the most interesting gameplay mechanic ever, but it's kind of interesting, these sort of games that, like, require you to just stop moving and just become a human turret for a second or two. Also, these green guys, it's like they do me the courtesy of, like, not killing me immediately, which is very appreciated, but it's strange and inconsistent. Yeah, I mean, there's a secret to it. You just stop moving and then keep shooting. And it's like, yeah, you'd think this game would be maybe a little more difficult, but oh look, I accidentally attacked, or I accidentally used a melee attack. And now we've got the gun. Easy peasy. Oh, no. Yeah, I guess you really just have to... I mean, essentially this game is about abandoning all of your honor and just becoming, like, super shameless as you just camp everywhere. Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's just, like, crouching there. He's like, oh, I'm ready to attack you at any point in time, and I just stand there like an idiot, just throwing shurikens at him. And it's like, eventually I just wear him out or something. He got tired. And it's like, huh, that's all this game is. Just being a human turret. Hardest part about this game is getting the timing right to get a shuriken right where you want it. Well, whatever. You play by the game's rules, not the rules you set for yourself. If you want to play by arbitrary rules you set for yourself, well, that's just a recipe for disaster. I mean, a recipe for disappointment. Not necessarily disaster. I mean, you can usually get your way through the game, but yeah. Oh, he didn't even die that time. Well, I'll say this about this game. As quick and as fast as it takes your lives, like, it itself is fast. It doesn't waste your time. It's not like... Well, I wonder what Capcom was doing at this point in time. In fact, I think I kind of lost track of what Capcom's been doing, because I think this is a little bit past where I played in Capcom Arcade Stadium, so I don't know what Capcom's up to, but I feel like it couldn't be ever quite as simple, elegant, and clean as this. Because, I mean, you look at this game, and it's like you got nice big sprites, you can clearly tell what's happening, everything dies in one hit. This is a recurring obsession of mine, because, I don't know, I just like that feeling of power that happens when you can kill everything in one hit. And, I mean, you also get some nice movement options. I mean, like, you could move to where you're safe. Actually, yeah, weird. Despite being, like, nominally an action game, this is actually a fairly cerebral game. In that, like, essentially, you just have to figure out where to move and where to attack from to, like, defeat your enemies. And it is interesting because, I mean, as much as the enemies die in one hit, so do you die in one hit. So you have to kind of, like, play it safe. But also, you're given a ranged attack as your, like, default attack. I mean, how many games give you a ranged attack just as your default attack and, like, are yet still considered, like, vaguely difficult and actiony? Not too many. Although I guess this was kind of the age and era where they're starting to give you more ranged attacks. Well, I guess you've got stuff like elevator action, which even though it was like way back in the day, I mean, you still got a ranged attack there. Although, check this out, man. How many shurikens can you have on screen? I mean, basically, as much screen as there is, you can have as many shurikens. It's kind of impressive. Elevator action, it's like one shot, that's it. You gotta wait for that shot to die. Did you miss? Too bad. I bet you're gonna miss being able to fire. But, That's so weird because, like, it's kind of challenging, but it's also kind of not. Alright. So anyway, the blue ninja up here. I think we've got to pop up to here, trick him, and then we can pop back down to save the guy. Except there's nothing. There's nothing there for me. It was a trap. And easy does it. Just lay some suppressing fire back there. I like how even though the sword returns when he's like conscious, it doesn't return when he dies, but it's like ostensibly he throws the sword the same way. So it's like, what's the deal there? Oh yeah. I guess the ninja power, in theory, I could use it, but that'd be cheap. Using ninja power, that's cheap. What is, this guy just like pops out from absolutely nowhere just to like hit you with the sword. I mean, they're not even that hard to deal with, but like it's so great because it's like you're. Oh, I thought you would. Wait, then what are you? Wait, what? Okay, riddle me this. So, okay. These scuba guys are like popping out of the ocean. Sure, okay, that's fine. Wait, what? So when you're in the ocean, there's no ocean actually. It's just very shallow. But like, these guys pop up from the ocean, so it's like, wait, what's happening here? Is it shallow or deep? You gotta choose one game. You can't just oscillate between whatever you feel like. And that's a lot of nope. Okay. What are they doing? Just like respawning? There is a lot of BS going on in this screen. Like, I'm kind of impressed. That was a lot of BS to contain on just one screen. All right. If that's how you want to play it, then I guess I'll have to figure out how to play this. Oh my gosh, there's just two of them. All right, forget it. I mean, saving a ninja power might be the mark of a good ninja, but I am very clearly an average at best ninja. Of course, I still have to fight like an animal to get to this point. All right, let's use my ninja. Come on now. I'm cheating. Just let me cheat in peace. All right, and two people here. I was just so in awe of my of my game plan to use this. Oh yeah, it turns out you can just jump over their attack. I don't know why you would ever want to, considering that you can attack them first, but I mean the option's there. All right, let's serious up. Okay, let's serious up this time. Is there rapid fire in this game? I'm not saying this is a game that needs rapid fire, but it does seem like a game where you could conceivably implement rapid fire. Wow. So these guys take like a lot of hits. I was trying to save my strength for the boss, but I guess these guys... Oh, how was I doing this before? I was doing really well. I guess you just have to be at just the right distance. Or maybe you have to like pre-attack? Because it seems like if you're at the right distance, then you melee attack them rather than throwing the shurikens, which the shurikens don't seem to... Oh, cool. So when you kill them, they stay dead. Oh, cool. You can crawl also. And so what that means I get another tornado power just to cheat my way to the end. Come on. He wasn't even swinging at me that time. That was like an incidental casualty at best. Because he jumped up with the sword that I died. Okay, I'm beginning to think this may not be the most fair game ever invented, but I'm willing to keep going. Plus, I'm really close to getting that top score, and I did not get that top score at all. Does it save your score as you... Oh, it does. Oh, I see. Here I thought I was, like, slowly earning the score through, like, good play and smart work, but no, I'm just grinding it out. It's basically a JRPG. It's like I'm level almost high score. Okay, this game is a little infuriating in, like, the level of skill it requires. All right. Pop him. Pop him. Pop, pop. I actually forgot to say it and to think it, but no surprise. And then ignore him. Oh man, it's a scuba guy. Wow, for the nth time. Okay, fine. So there are 2 scuba guys there, but it's like, wow, oh man, a scuba guy. I'm shocked. Scuba guy, I'm shocked. Jeez. It does seem like it would be kind of fun as a Genesis game, though, where you just, like, play it over and over until eventually you, like, memorize every single aspect of it. And then it's like it becomes a warm, comfy blanket, and it can't surprise you anymore. Oh, I see. So if you look at the ground, you can see... If you look at the ground, you can see when they're going to respond and where they're going to come out at you. Of course, if I followed my own advice, I'd be good at games by now, so... I don't know if you should follow my advice. Do as I... Don't do as I say, nor as I do. Just do it. Oh, that's right, because there were 2 of them. Oh my gosh. Well, it's called the Black Turtle, if nothing else. Okay. No talk, only do. Although I will admit, a frightening thing is slowly happening as I play my way through this game. I am getting used to a Sanwa ball top. There's just something about it being a ball that you can, like, just kind of perfectly grasp in your hands that, like, you just move it all around. I don't know how I managed to do this beforehand, but, whoa. Okay, wow. That is kind of impressive. It's using... the most deadly ninja art of them all. Missiles, actually. Missiles. Are there just, like, a limited number of them? Well, whatever. Oh, okay. Boss power. Well, it's not going down. Even as I kill ninjas. Oh, I see. I have to... Sure. We can go with that. This boss is actually way easier than... Well... Ninja. Okay. This boss was actually way easier than the other guy, because the other guy, you had to, like, actually be good to hit him. But here, all you had to do was, just be good enough to... Well, okay, basically this one, you can just shoot at the top of your jump, so it's not really an issue. And too late. Too late.
Mission 3.
Mission 3. Mandara. Alright, well... Oh, and now we've got the enemies. Remember the good old days when things would die in one hit? Those days are gone. They're not coming back. There's no helping you. You pretty much have to deal with this now. And I'm surprised that actually worked. Oh, and the rocket guys shoot mortars? What the heck? This is insanity. Oh. Huh. It's interesting because, like, this game, it's very mechanistically similar to Rolling Thunder. But, like, in terms of actual gameplay, there's just enough nuance that... I mean, being a ninja feels different than being a secret agent. I mean, I guess also the fact that it's two different companies making it with two different, like, you know, game creation or mentalities for game creation, sure. Game creation philosophies. But like even then, it's like, it's kind of strange how you can take two games that have basically the exact same mechanics and do them very differently with like very different feels. Okay, I've completely forgotten which button is attack. Alright, I guess I'm on my last life. I don't know. I was doing pretty well on this stage in the beginning. I kind of even shocked myself. But now I have regressed back to the mean, and we are not looking so great. Although that was arguably skillful. Okay. I mean, usually you're invincible when you're jumping between planes, but that was a little silly. That was a little silly. I mean, yeah, I could probably keep grinding, and maybe I could even make it through this level, but, like, you think the next level is, oh my word. But, as overwhelming as the screen is, like, that screen is just pure butter to enter your name. I love it, though. You just, like, grind. Oh, it keeps track of how many coins you use to get that high score. So, I mean, you can just cheat your way to a high score, but then your shame will forever be remembered on the high score list. That's pretty great. Oh, man. I mean, say what you will about this game, and maybe it feels basic or something, and maybe it's just not that good, but it is good. But, like, keep in mind, you're not comparing this to, like, the best action games ever. You're comparing this to stuff like My Hero. You're comparing this to, like, other beat-em-ups or something. And it's like, this game is just, it's cool, it's refined, it's got some good techniques. Okay, now I'm actually very curious. Shinobi or Rolling Gunner? Who came up with it first? Because, I mean, it's kind of exactly the same game, but I kind of want to think that Sega is the one who did it, because, I mean, Sega has many faults, but they usually don't just straight up copy a competitor's game. I mean, it's not that they're like above it, or they like their morals tell them not to. No, it's more that like Sega is just so crazy they like can't even understand it. They like watch a competitor's game and they're like, okay, this game is great. It inspires me for a new game. And it's like, if you were to tell them, it's like, hey, just copy Mario Brothers. Just exactly do Mario Brothers. No changes. Just reverse engineer it. Sega would just be like completely confused. It's like, I don't understand. Make a game that exists, but the game already exists. It doesn't need to exist twice. And then they just make some weird old game like Sonic. Or they make like a Puyo Puyo inspired Mario, and it's just like, what? You play as like one of the Puyo Puyo slimes and you're doing some platforming, but because you're a slime then you're all bouncy, so you jump on something and you bounce off, and like basically you can bounce off everything. Actually, that'd be even better. It's like, it could be like a Kirby game. It's like Sega's Kirby. You just play as like a Puyo Puyo slime, just bouncing off everything. You're like basically invincible. So just like, well, like modern day Kirby at least, then you're like basically invincible. You can't lose the game, and it's just basically just a game about having fun. Of course, this is released for home console and not arcade. Although maybe that's ultimately Sega's real downfall, is that they were so great in the arcade. But that means that when arcades eventually started declining and then it all became about home consoles, then Sega just fundamentally did not understand. Because, I mean, you look at a lot of the Genesis games, and it's like, even the ones that were conceived as like Genesis first, not even arcade, will the guy make it? Will the guy make it? He won't. The exact same thing happened. He failed the exact same time. I now feel a little bit of sympathy for all you viewers. But anyway, so Sega, they had to adapt to the home consoles, but they just couldn't. So many of those Genesis games, like they have scores built in, but it's like, scores don't really even matter. Why do you even have a score? Why do you have lives? Why do you have levels? Like, it's all kind of arbitrary. And yet Sega was just kind of doing it, kind of just happily doing the same thing over and over again. But it's like, no, you got to change, you got to adapt, you got to make a Puyo Puyo slime platforming game where you're basically invincible and you can just bounce off everything, and like most of the fun is just seeing like what you can bounce off of, what not, how many colors you can fit on a screen. Although, of course, I mean, even looking at the Genesis, it's like they traded number of colors for like blast processing, but it's like, I mean, I guess that's ultimately the trade-off that Sega makes. Blast processing for colors. And so it's like, yeah, the games won't have quite as many colors as the arcade, but they'll be almost as fast as the arcade. And suck it, Super Nintendo. You'll never beat us. Just think, well, how would history be different if the arcades were still the dominant art form? Well, just think, you'd have Ashgabat Cat who'd be playing all the old obscure Super Nintendo games. And I'll be like, oh man, welcome to the Nintendo 60th anniversary home NES game. It even comes with a mini TV that you can like plug it into. Man, remember back in the day when they released home consoles that you could plug into your TV? Pfft, that's silly. Unfortunately, due to COVID, it's like we can't go to all the great arcades that like are great, and you sit down and it's like massage chair, and then there's like a million people who want to fight you, and then you have like, it's also a restaurant. Can you imagine an arcade that was basically all of those? It's kind of like a modern day movie theater, except instead of watching the movie, you're playing arcade games. Well, that's enough speculative history for me. The only speculative history I'm really interested in is that alternate history where I'm good at video games. Alack and alas, this cat is not. So on that note, this cat's gotta go on a training arc.